Very good evening. I'm Ashwarya with you and I welcome you all to this edition of News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. Preparations are underway in Ayodhya ahead of Wednesday's groundbreaking ceremony of the Ram Mandir. The design of the temple was released today. That's our big focus. Also, we continue tracking the coronavirus pandemic. The COVID-19 tally has risen to more than 18.55 lakh in India. Those are big stories and much more coming up ahead. First up, news from Ayodhya, where preparations are underway for the Bhumi Pujan ceremony of the Ram Mandir. On the eve of the Bhumi Pujan ceremony for the Ram Mandir, Ayodhya is lit up with diyas and colourful lights and decorated with rangolis and flowers. The priests performed Aarti at the ghat of the river Saryu. Here is a look at the spectacular celebrations from Ayodhya. So rituals are underway in Ayodhya ahead of the Wednesday's groundbreaking ceremony of the Ram Mandir. Ayodhya city and all its temples have been decked up for the ceremony.
Tuesday was the second day of the three-day-long rituals that will culminate in Prime Minister Narendra Modi laying the foundation stone of the historic Ram Mandir. A special 6-hour-long Ram Racha Anushtan was performed. Ram Kirtan and recitation of the Ramcharitmanas is going on since Monday. Seers from across the country have arrived in Ayodhya. They offered prayers at the Saryu River and the Hanuman Gadi temple. Temples in the city have been lit up with diyas ahead of the event. The Saryu River Ghats have been readied for the Deepotsav on the big day. 1.25 lakh diyas will be lit at the Deepotsav ceremony. Social distancing norms will be observed in all ceremonies. The Hanuman Gadi temple and the Saryu River Ghats have been sanitized and not more than 5 people will be allowed in one place. A multi-tiered security system will be in operation with special protection group officers handling the inner ring at the venue. State police will handle other security arrangements. All roads to the site from the Ayodhya main road will be sealed. On Monday, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath instructed officials to ensure that all COVID-19 prevention guidelines are followed. The Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra that will look after the construction and management of the Ram Temple released images of the proposed Ram Temple on Tuesday. The images show a 3-story structure on a raised platform. The interiors have a high dome with intricate carvings. The majestic temple is expected to be about 270 to 280 feet wide, 280 to 300 feet long, and 128 feet high.
So Ayodhya is all decked up for the Bhumi Pujan ceremony of the Ram Mandir. Here is a look at all the plans for Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will spend around 3 hours in Ayodhya on Wednesday, where he will perform groundbreaking rituals for the Ram Temple. The first stop of the Prime Minister will be at the Hanuman Gadi temple. He will then reach the temple site, the Ram Janmabhoomi, the spot where Lord Ram is believed to have been born. After offering prayers to Ram Lalla or the infant Ram, he will reach the stage where the groundbreaking ceremony will take place. The Prime Minister will lay a 40 kg silver brick to symbolize the start of the construction of the Ram Temple. Religious rituals ahead of the event started on Monday. A dozen priests performed prayers dedicated to Lord Ganesh and other deities. The ceremony will be telecast live by national broadcaster Doordarshan. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Modi will also release a 5 rupee stamp in the image of the Ram Temple. The BJP has planned Diwali-like celebrations on Wednesday to mark the Bhumi Puja of Ram Temple. The party has instructed all its state units to celebrate the day with light. All party workers, MPs, MLAs have been asked to light diyas at their homes, neighborhoods and temples in the evening and during the day watch the Bhumi Pujan ceremony digitally and sing Ram bhajans. The BJP in Delhi will distribute 11 lakh diyas among people. Municipal corporations have been asked to light up city temples on the occasion. In Delhi, giant LEDs will be placed in all the 70 assembly constituencies to allow people to watch the ceremony live. All MPs, MLAs, BJP office bearers have been asked to be present at the constituencies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone for the historic Ram temple at Ram Janmabhoomi on Wednesday. He will leave from Delhi at 9:35 a.m. for Lucknow, from where he will leave for Ayodhya in a helicopter. Prime Minister Modi is slated to arrive in Ayodhya at 11:30 a.m. The Prime Minister will first offer prayers at the Hanuman Gadi temple, where he will spend 10 minutes. At 12 noon, he will reach the Ram Janmabhoomi, where he will offer prayers to Lord Ram and plant a Parijat sapling. The Bhumi Pujan ceremony will start at 12:30 p.m. The Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone at 12:40 p.m. Prime Minister Modi will also meet the Trust Committee members, including its President Mahant Nritya Gopal Das. At 2:20 p.m., he will leave for Lucknow.
ठीक जहां पर भगवान रामलला विराजमान होंगे, उसके नीचे ठीक उसके नीचे कूर्मशिला की स्थापना होगी और उसके अतिरिक्त 8 शिलाओं की और स्थापना होगी। ऐसे कुल मिलाकर के 9 शिलाओं की स्थापना होती है। इन समस्त शिलाओं का पूजन हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के हाथों से किया जाएगा।
Around 175 guests, including 135 seers from across the country and relatives of Kar Sevaks killed in police firing in 1990, will attend the groundbreaking ceremony of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya on Wednesday. Only a limited number of invites have been sent out due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Only 5 people, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, will be on stage. The others will be Mahant Nritya Gopal Das, head of the trust, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel. Iqbal Ansari, the litigant in the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi case, and local resident Mohammad Sharif, who was awarded the Padma Shri for years of performing the last rites on unclaimed bodies, are also invited. The 135 seers who have been invited belong to 36 spiritual traditions. They include the priest of Janaki Temple in Nepal, family members of some people who lost their lives in the police firing on Kar Sevaks in 1990 in Ayodhya during the height of the VHP RSS spearheaded movement, including the sister of the Kothari brothers from Kolkata, have also been invited. Each invitation has a security code that will work only once. Some of the prominent personalities associated with the Ram Temple campaign in the BJP, L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi, will join the event virtually in view of the coronavirus precautions. Uma Bharti said on Twitter that out of concern for the health of the Prime Minister due to COVID-19, she will only visit the site after he and other dignitaries have left. And now an update on the COVID-19 situation. Well, COVID-19 infections in India crossed 18.55 lakh after over 50,000 new cases were reported yet again on Monday. However, as per the latest data, the recovery rate has risen to 66%. The fatality rate also continues to decline. At 2.1%, it is the lowest since the first lockdown. Here are the details.
Total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in India crossed 18.55 lakh on Tuesday after states reported over 50,000 cases for the 6th consecutive day. 803 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total death toll to 38,938. There are 5.86 lakh active cases, while over 12.3 lakh COVID-19 positive patients have recovered. The recovery rate now stands at 66.31%. The case fatality rate in India is 2.1%, lowest since the March lockdown. Over 2 crore samples have been tested so far, including 6.61 lakh samples tested on Monday. India is testing 479 samples per million people per day. According to the government, 28 states and union territories are performing more than 140 tests per day per million population.
कि भारतवर्ष में अब तक हमने 2 करोड़ टेस्ट कर लिए हैं। इसमें RT-PCR और रैपिड एंटीजन टेस्ट शामिल हैं। पिछले 24 घंटों में हमने 6,60,000 टेस्ट देश भर में किए हैं और जो रिकवर्ड केसेस हैं उनकी संख्या अब एक्टिव केसेस के दुगने से भी ज़्यादा हो गई है और जो केस फर्टिलिटी रेट है इस समय देश में वो पहले लॉकडाउन के समय से यानी 25 मार्च के समय से लेकर अब तक सबसे कम बिंदु पर है 2.10। 28 राज्य ऐसे हैं और यूटीज़ ऐसे हैं जो 140 टेस्ट प्रतिदिन प्रति 10 लाख की जनसंख्या से अधिक कर रहे हैं। अगर आप भारत का एवरेज देखें तो वो 479 है।
Even as infections in India rise, the last 10 days have witnessed a decline in the growth rate of cases. The daily growth rate averaged over 7-day periods has come down from 3.67% to 3.25%. While the growth rate has been fluctuating periodically and this trend could change, the current growth rate at the national level is the lowest since May 1st. However, at 8.89%, India's cumulative positivity rate is higher than WHO approved 5%. States with positivity rate less than 10% are Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Haryana, Assam, West Bengal and Karnataka. The states that have reported the biggest 24-hour jump in active cases are Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Bihar and Telangana. 5 most affected states by total tally are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Delhi. According to the Health Ministry, 68% of the COVID-19 deaths have been reported among male patients and 32% among female patients. That is broadly in line with the global scenario. 50% of COVID-19 deaths have been reported among people aged 60 years and above. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India has enough supply of ventilators. 30,000 are being manufactured under the Make in India scheme by Bharat Electronics Limited. MedTech Zone is supplying 13,500 ventilators, while the Health Ministry has ordered 10,000 more from AGVA. Only 0.27% active cases are on ventilator support.
मेक इन इंडिया वेंटिलेटर्स का जो हिस्सेदारी है, शेयर है, वो 96% है बाय वॉल्यूम और 90% है बाय वैल्यू। 2 पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट्स थीं जिन्होंने इसमें बड़ी भूमिका निभाई है। एक है भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिमिटेड BEL, ये रक्षा मंत्रालय की एक पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइज है। ये 30,000 वेंटिलेटर स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय को और विभिन्न राज्यों को सप्लाई कर रहे हैं। दूसरी जो पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग है वो आंध्रा मेडटेक जोन है, AMTZ। ये मेडटेक जोन मल्टीपल कंपनीज़ को बढ़ावा देता है और ये आंध्र प्रदेश राज्य सरकार की पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइज है। ये 13,500 वेंटिलेटर की आपूर्ति कर रहे हैं।
And global COVID-19 infections have crossed 18.4 million, with the deaths approaching 7 lakh.
Till Tuesday, the United States lost over 1,55,000 people to COVID-19 infections that have crossed 4.7 million. However, President Donald Trump is going ahead with his plans of reopening the economy and schools despite the rising number of infections.
In our current phase, we must focus on protecting those at highest risk while allowing younger and healthier Americans to resume work and school with careful precautions. Ideally, we want to open those schools. We want to open them.
With over 5 million cases, Latin America accounts for close to 30% of the global cases. Brazil has over 2.75 million cases and more than 94,000 deaths. On Monday, Argentina tightened restrictions due to surging cases. It limited gatherings to 10 people until August 16th, even as most large shopping malls remain closed. However, some non-essential stores, including clothing shops, were allowed to reopen on the day. Peru has extended remote working through July 31st, 2021. Bolivia has cancelled classes for the rest of the school year as the country has over 80,000 COVID-19 infections with 3,100 deaths. In Cuba, restaurants began to reopen with safety measures in place. European countries account for roughly 20% of the world's total cases. The UK is rolling out millions of rapid COVID-19 tests to detect the virus within 90 minutes as concerns over a possible second wave remain. Spain plans to launch a phone app in the Balearic Islands and Canary Islands to help trace possible coronavirus infections. France has reinforced mask wearing to contain resurgence of cases across the country. Russia is hoping to get final regulatory approval of its coronavirus vaccine within weeks. The production of the vaccine developed by Gamaleya Center is expected to begin in September. Russia had a daily count of 5,159 cases, bringing its total case tally to over 8.6 million. Australia's Victoria State is deploying additional military troops and imposing hefty fines to enforce virus isolation orders. The state reported 439 new coronavirus cases and 11 deaths on Tuesday.
You will be door knocked, you will be visited. If you're not at home, then you will be fined. And the fine, $1,652, but beyond that, the opportunity for police to on the spot fine you up to $5,000, and for particularly selfish behaviour, the opportunity to take you to court, where the maximum penalty is in fact $20,000.
Hong Kong has extended pandemic prevention measures till August 11th. Measures include mandatory masks in public, limiting group gatherings to 2 people, closure of entertainment venues, and stricter testing and quarantine arrangements.
On to some other news. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Tuesday urged the government and the judiciary to ensure faster justice. He was addressing the virtual Platinum Jubilee meet of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University, on the occasion of its 76th Foundation Day. Expressing concern over the growing pendency of court cases from Supreme Court to lower courts, Naidu underscored the need to make delivery of justice speedier and affordable. He asked the law students to use their legal knowledge to empower the marginalized sections. Naidu also told them to nurture professionalism and ethical conduct when it comes to discharging their duties.
Lawyers are capable of bringing about great social transformation. As society evolves, so must our laws also. We must constantly introspect and scrutinize our laws from the prism of justice, fairness, equity, compassion, and humanity. We must continually reform, update our laws, rules, and regulations. Laws which do not find a place in the progressive society must be repealed without prejudice and without delay, while modifying others to suit the times. In the same spirit, there must be an unrelenting quest to improve our justice system. We must continually improve our legal infrastructure and access to justice, especially for the common man. A vast majority of laws and regulations are still ineligible to the ordinary citizen.
The Vice President also highlighted the need to avoid ambiguity while drafting law. He said law should be simple and uncomplicated. Observing that lawyers are capable of bringing about great social transformation, the Vice President called for continuous introspection, scrutiny, and reform of laws.
As a society, the nation governed by the rule of law, we must focus not only on the letter but also on the spirit of the intent behind our laws. There should not be any room for ambiguity while drafting laws. They should be simple, clear, uncomplicated. Any ambiguity can lead to the possibility of misinterpretation and misuse that should be totally avoided.
And the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Health and Family Welfare met on Tuesday.
The meeting focused on plans to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. During the discussion, Health and Family Welfare Secretary Rajesh Bhushan and a Joint Secretary made a presentation in which they informed the committee about the preparations and future plans to deal with the pandemic. The committee, headed by Samajwadi Party MP Ram Gopal Yadav, is conducting a detailed investigation on the outbreak of coronavirus in the country and related contingency plans. Recently, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu encouraged the newly elected members to play an important role in the meetings of the committees. 13 members were present in the meeting, including newly elected MP Indubala Goswami.
On Wednesday, the legislation that abrogated Article 370 or the special status to Jammu and Kashmir completes 1 year. In a historic step, on 5th of August 2019, the Narendra Modi government revoked this discriminatory legislation. Let's look at how it transformed Jammu and Kashmir and the development that it made possible in the two union territories over the last 1 year.
5th August 2019. The centre revokes the special status granted to Jammu and Kashmir. The state is bifurcated into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. In the months to come, the government focuses on social sector development, economic revival, and effective implementation of all central welfare schemes in the two union territories. In Jammu and Kashmir, the administration adopted the Naya Kashmir concept that emphasizes key areas like the health sector, ease of governance, and democratic decentralization. Discriminatory state laws were either repealed or modified, including the Ranbir Penal Code and the Transfer of Property Act. 170 central laws were made applicable, which include the right to protect SCs and STs, forest dwellers, juveniles, and the aged. The domicile law was implemented to protect people's interests, and certificates were issued for eligible people to ensure employment in government jobs. They included West Pakistan refugees, Gorkhas, sanitation workers, and women married to non-residents of Jammu and Kashmir. In order to bring about social equity, the administration removed all undue privileges of former ministers and ceiling pensions for politicians. In the welfare sector, priority was given to social security. In the last 1 year, pension benefits were extended to 7,42,781 beneficiaries, while minority pre-matric scholarships were given to 4,76,670 beneficiaries. In the education sector, the administration added 50 new degree colleges, the largest such allocation in 70 years, besides sanctioning or operationalizing of 7 medical colleges. The centre introduced a unique market intervention scheme to pay remunerative prices through DBT and transportation by the Central Procuring Agency to stabilize the apple market in Jammu and Kashmir. A global investment summit and 7 road shows were organized, during which 168 MOUs for 13,600 crore rupees were signed. In addition, the government identified 6,000 acres of government land for industry. Land has been given for 37 industrial estates in the Union Territory. The development work has led to a drastic dip in protests and stone pelting incidents in Kashmir. A host of development projects have also been initiated in the Union Territory of Ladakh. 9 projects with an outlay of 21,441 crore rupees were transferred to the Union Territory after its formation. 5,958 crore rupees were allocated for Ladakh's development for the fiscal year 2020-21. The 220 kV Srinagar-Alston-Dras-Kargil-Leh transmission system was completed, connecting Ladakh to the national grid and ensuring a reliable power supply to the region. A 9-megawatt Da hydroelectric project for overall electrification of every household was also inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. 255-kilometer long, all-weather Darbuk-Sheok-Daulat Beg Oldie Road in Galwan Valley was built, enabling year-round connectivity between the Karakoram Pass and Leh. The centre has also given a green signal to the plan for the first central university in Ladakh, along with a centre on Buddhist studies, fulfilling a long-standing demand of the Ladakhis. The proposed central university will offer degrees in all courses like liberal arts and basic sciences. Besides, 54 mobile towers under the Universal Service Obligation Fund have been set up in Ladakh. Remote villages that remain cut off during winters will get mobile service before the onset of the cold season. To mark the first anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370, the BJP will hold celebrations from Wednesday going on up to the 15th of August. To prevent protests sponsored by separatist groups backed by Pakistan, a 2-day curfew has been imposed in Kashmir. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on in the bulletin, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador T.S. Tirumurti, has charged Pakistan with harboring terror groups.
In an interview to ANI, the Indian envoy said Pakistan is the nerve center of terrorism. He added that even Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has admitted that 40,000 terrorists were present in his country. Ambassador Tirumurti also referred to the United Nations 26th report of the Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team concerning ISIS. He said there is a clear acknowledgement that the leadership and funding for terrorist entities like Al-Qaeda and ISIS emanate from Pakistan. The Indian envoy's attack on Pakistan comes as the neighbouring country has been pointlessly raising the Kashmir issue at international fora.
It's a well-known fact that Pakistan is the nerve center of terrorism. Pakistan is home to the largest number of listed terrorists. Internationally designated terrorist entities and individuals, including Jamaat al-Dawa, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen, they're continuing their operations from Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan himself is on record saying that there are up to 40,000 terrorists present in Pakistan and they have attacked neighboring countries.
Meanwhile, the Islamabad High Court has ordered the Pakistan government to give India a chance to appoint a representative for death row prisoner Kulbhushan Jadhav. According to news reports, the court has named 3 senior lawyers as amicus curiae. The court also asked the Pakistan government to communicate the order to the Indian government. India had approached the International Court of Justice against Pakistan for denying consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav. The government also challenged the death sentence given to Jadhav. The ICJ ruled in July 2019 that Pakistan must undertake an effective review of the conviction and sentence of Kulbhushan Jadhav and also grant consular access to India without delay.
And now an update on the flood situation across different states, and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has said that 55.72 lakh people have been affected by floods across 14 districts of the state. Darbhanga has the highest flood hit population with up to 17.85 lakh people affected.
The state government has so far transferred a relief amount of 6,000 rupees each to over 2,60,000 families affected by the floods. Everyone residing in relief centres in flood-affected districts shall be tested for COVID-19 to help the administration in isolating infected persons. More than 800 villages in 15 districts have been inundated in Uttar Pradesh due to the swelling of the Saryu and the Rapti rivers. Embankments were breached in Gonda, Azamgarh, and efforts are on to seal them. 188 medical teams and 16 disaster response teams have been deployed for rescue operations. The Weather Department has issued a red alert for Mumbai as the ongoing rain is likely to intensify in the next 2 days. Citizens have been advised to avoid going out for the next 48 hours. Heavy rain overnight and this morning led to flooding and travel chaos. Mumbai's lifeline, the local trains have been stopped and all offices except emergency services are closed. Landslides were witnessed in Malad while several places remain inundated. Meanwhile, the flood situation in Assam has improved as water receded from many areas, though one more person lost his life in the deluge. Floods and landslides have damaged roads and other infrastructure at several places. 136 lives have been lost in Assam. 3.89 lakh people in 17 districts are still affected by the floods. Heavy rainfall is likely to occur in several parts of West Bengal and Odisha between Tuesday and Thursday. The IMD has advised fishermen to not venture deep into the Bay of Bengal till 6th August because of high-speed winds and rough sea conditions. Heavy to very heavy rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms and lightning is expected in many parts of Madhya Pradesh over the next 24 hours.
And that is it in this edition of News Tonight. Thanks so much for your time. Take care of yourselves and your families. Bye for now.